Hello and welcome to Business Insider with Mario Toneguzzi on YYC Business, brought to you by MegaPixx Media. Joining me is Elton Ash, who is Regional Executive Vice President of RE/MAX of Western Canada. Thanks again for joining us, Elton.
Great to be with you, Mario.
Let's talk about condos. RE/MAX put out a report today on the condo market in Canada. We're going to talk about Calgary. And so tell me what's happening in terms of sales in the condo market so far this year in the city.
Well, to be straightforward, Mario, it's gone crazy. I mean, and there's reasons for that, of course. When we compare it to 2020, condominiums are naturally a much more densified housing unit. You know, you've got a tower or a townhouse style. Row housing kind of thing, but you're much denser going up elevators and that kind of thing. And so in 2020 with COVID, you know, coming on and all that, people just felt insecure, and the COVID protocols weren't in place on marketing condominiums as strongly as they are now. And vaccinations and all that type of thing that's been happening in 21. And so just given the safety aspect and how that has improved and buyers have gained more confidence along with sellers in that environment, we've just seen a huge escalation of condo sales this year.
What about the prices then? What's happening with prices if the sales are going up that much?
Well, and it's interesting because if you compare, single family has really led price increases across the entire country, and in the majority of markets, Calgary included, there was a pretty strong inventory supply. So we've not seen the same kind of price escalation. In Calgary, it's 3% this year over last year, and yet volume was up 82%. And so you wonder, well, volume's up that much, why haven't prices fallen? Well, it's because the supply side has been stronger. There's been more inventory of condos compared to single family detached.
Okay, so I know that we've talked about this in the past about the inventory issue in Canada and, you know, basically across every region and major city. So what is it like right now for the number of condos that are available in the Calgary market?
Yeah, and the good news is that from a pricing perspective, well, actually, there's two sides of the story here. So on the supply side, there's stronger supply for condos than there is for single family detached. And so price escalation isn't as strong, but that is starting to adjust now. And so we're getting into where there's slower supply absorption has occurred on that, what was there in the market prior. And so we are seeing an adjustment there now. So I think from a buyer perspective, we're probably going to see higher price escalations as we get into 22 because there is less supply now and demand is staying strong.
Let's talk about that demand. You know, where are we seeing it? In what segments of the market and from who?
Yeah, and as you know, it's the local buyer. And, you know, we just finished an election, federal election, where there was a lot of talk about foreign buyers. Well, certainly from our release today, it is really a strong local buyer influence that is looking at condominiums, first-time home buyers, because the price point is much lower. The average condominium price right now is $263,000 in Calgary, which makes it extremely affordable. Yeah. And in fact, if you look across the country, Calgary, when you look at the carrying costs of a condominium compared to other cities, is the cheapest in the country. And so huge advantage that way. So from a first-time homebuyer perspective, it's a great way to get into the market. And that's where the market's really is at this point.
So as you look forward, Elton, for the rest of this year and into 2022, what are the thoughts about the condo market in Calgary?
I think it's going to stay strong. Although it is, you know, balancing out a bit now, but nevertheless, and that we're also seeing a return to more seasonal markets across the board, and so that's going to be part of it right now as November is coming along and then Christmas. But it's going to be a strong market through the winter and then into the spring. Interest rates are going to be holding pretty steady. And so it's a good environment overall.
Okay, super. Well, thanks again for joining us, Elton.
You're welcome.
All right, that was Elton Ash, who is Regional Executive Vice President of Remax of Western Canada. This has been Business Insider with Mario Toneguzzi on YYC Business, brought to you by MegaPixx Media. Thanks for joining.